Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Lindsay Wilson, aka Lindsay the Stager, here at your service on our video podcast with Florally. It's our Design Time showroom from the Floor Up podcast. And I am so excited to tell you today that by popular demand, my interviewee is Kacey Brown. Yay! Hello, Kacey!
Hello, Lindsay, and everyone else watching.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Wilson, and you're watching the Design Time from the Floor Up video podcast.
Oh, he's so cute with his bald head and his big beard. And look at his background. Can I just say? I mean, he is like ready to show it off. So, Pod Posse, let me remind you of how Kacey came into our lives. It's like the week before Christmas. I was shopping at Target for a client. I love Target, from clothes to food to accessories to art to bedding. Casa Luna, hello. And so I was shopping for a client of mine. I'm standing in line for 10 minutes. I have two carts in the front and in the back. The lady in my checkout lane goes, "I'm sorry, I'm closed." And I was like, no. And then lo and behold, here comes Jesus, like lowering Kacey down with a little halo on his head. And he goes, "I'll take you over here." And I was like, thank you, Kacey. God damn it. Because this is all my stuff. So I go over there with my two carts and there's Kacey. I mean, just look at him. And he starts like ringing my stuff in and he's like, "Is this for staging?" And I was like, "Yes, it is. How did you know that?" And he's like, "Well, my mom used to be an interior decorator." Anyway, best friends forever. In the first 5 minutes, you know that's how I roll. He did all my stuff and I was like, well, I asked him about a mirror and we're going to get into that in a second. But that's my intro. That is how Kacey came into our podcast lives. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to speak to you guys.
What else is it that you think that I brought you on here for? What do you do? What can you tell us?
Well,
No pressure.
no pressure at all. Well, I also do web design and I help small businesses with their presence online, from web design to some print materials to anything they need pretty much to make sure, they can stand out and they can be known and seen and Googled and found.
That's so important. I mean, if you don't advertise, if you don't tell anybody that you wrote a book, it doesn't count, right?
Right?
So you've got to help the small businesses like Lindsay the Stager or a small, flooring company like Florally get out there. So how do you do that? Like, what is your process? How do people know about you to come and ask you to help them in the first place?
Well, I have been out of commission for about 2 years because I had to move for my job. And now that I'm back in North Carolina, I'm opening the business back up. So normally right now it's word of mouth. My website will be up at the end of this week. I'll be back up and running. But normally it's just word of mouth from businesses that I've helped.
You just
they'll
tell
reach out.
stagers that are in your checkout lane about your business?
Yep. Create relationships wherever I can. That's how it works.
What is your business called, Kacey?
My business name is Modus Operandi. So if you ever said, what's your MO? That's what my business is.
Oh, I love that. Clever. Very clever. Okay.
So we help with the processes and everything and like understanding what the needs are of people and what their MO is so we can better help them and help their business and grow and build.
So what do you think that people need? Like if I say, hey, I'm going to create, I don't know what's on the top of my mind, alcohol. I'm going to create wine labels. How would you help them with that?
First stage for me always is getting to know the person because I'm a people person. So without knowing the person, you can't create anything for anybody because if you create something that you're creating for yourself and it doesn't mesh with the person, it will never work. So my first step is always a relationship or a conversation with the person to understand who they are and what they want and where they want to go. And then, through that conversation, you can usually discern left, right, down the middle, how you want to go with this person. So
Love it.
That's always step one. Step two is then just asking, what do you want? what do you want and how much do you want to spend and how fast do you want it? It's the 3 things for me all the time.
What did you tell me the other day? This is such a good little nugget about fast and cheap or slow and inexpensive. What is it? What is it, the thing?
So I tell all clients you get to choose 2 of the 3. You can have it done fast, you can have it done well, or you can have it done cheap. But you only get 2 of the 3. So
Which
you can
means?
have it done fast and good, but it won't be cheap. You can have it good and fast, but it won't be done well. So like you just have to go back and forth on
I
what
love
you
that.
choose.
That's so important in life, you know? Like, you cannot be on a dating show if you want it to last. How about
Right.
that? You cannot fill up with fat-free cookies if you want to be full. I don't
Or
think.
if you want to stay slim,
Yeah, right.
it's still
So
cookies.
it's like,
Still
so
cookies.
you're saying that there's a cause and effect and obviously a consequence for what you want to have done.
Correct.
Awesome. So one of the things that I immediately fell in love with you about is because I said, Kacey, I come to Target probably 2 to 5 times a week because as a stager, I always bring a doormat to my staged homes. It's one of the things that I offer. It's not a big deal. They're inexpensive, but I don't buy them in bulk because I want to think about the house that I'm having this floor mat for. There's only a few to choose from, fine. But I like going to Target. Maybe I'll find something to wear while I'm picking out a front doormat, right? So I said to you, Kacey, there is a mirror that I'm like in love with by the dressing rooms. Do you know about this? And you go, yes. And I'm
Of
like,
course.
can I buy it? And you're like, no. And I'm like, God damn it. Why? Why can't I buy it? Well, because the store owns it and blah, 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 like they do. But you gave me the greatest tip ever. Tell us your tip when you see something that you want, but you can't have it right there.
So my mom, she would always see something in Target or see something somewhere and be like, Kacey, I gotta find this piece. I'm so low in this piece. I love it. Oh my God. I said, oh, I need it. I have to have it. Mom, I don't know what to do. So Google is amazing. Google showed us what to do. If you go to your Google app and go to your search bar, in the right-hand side, it has a microphone and a camera. You
Okay.
click on that camera, and then you just take a picture of the item, and it will show you exactly who made it, what it is, and take you to the website. So my mom doesn't have to call me anymore, ask me to try to find anything. She's more self-sufficient.
It's like amazing. Like you can do like a statue outside.
Anything. It will find where it
Anything.
came from and what it is. A flower, like anything design you want, anything you want. It could be a flower. It can be a statue, a vase. It's going to find it for you. And then it's going to show you the best price where you can get it and compare the prices also.
Unbelievable. So that alone makes me want to work with you. Because we all need tips like this. But I think I was telling you the other day that when I was in college typing up papers, we didn't have laptops on our laps on our dorm beds. We were in a computer lab.
Yep.
So teaching this old dog new tricks is like, because I think, and I share this with my older parents, we're so afraid that we're going to mess it up. Like, what if I leave this screen and I go into something else? I'm going to erase all my pictures. I feel like that's what everybody is so terrified of, including me. But I think that we all need supervision from someone who is a computer geek like you.
Yes.
And I'm giving you that title that you gave yourself. I'm just giving it back to you lovingly. I'm not labeling you.
I love it.
But you are.
Because I tell everybody that. Like, I love computer. I'm a computer nerd. I love to play basketball. I'm really athletic. But on the inside, I'm a computer nerd. Like,
Oh.
I get calls and questions all the time about computer stuff, and I love it.
How did a computer geek who has his own website business get to work at Target?
I would tell you that anyone who works in retail would tell you they fell into retail. Never thought, growing up, hey, I'm going to do retail when I grow up.
Right?
Had no idea. Never would have thought it. I wanted to be an engineer, computer science major. So when I went to school, I started doing computer science and engineering. Fell far from it. My first passion was always food. I love to cook. My mom couldn't cook, so I had not great food growing up. So I had to change that trend when I became an adult. So I learned how to
That's so
cook.
interesting. Okay. See, we're even more of a perfect pair because I love to eat.
So learning how to cook, I started working in restaurants around the age of 16 and worked my way up in restaurants, learned how to do every aspect of it. And I just loved it. That made me more of the people person I am today. Just knowing how to read nonverbal cues, knowing how to make people happy, knowing that it was more of the experience and not just the food or not just the place or not just the people, but it was a melting pot of all those things together, and learning how to use that to my advantage to gain personal relationships and just growing and learning and knowledge of people.
I think that it's
So
important to say from this explanation alone that just because you think you're going to go to school and major in engineer science, is that what you called it?
computer science or engineering,
Computer
yeah,
science, doesn't mean that that's what you're going to do, but it's going to lead you to what's right for you to do.
completely. Because I went to restaurants and I got recruited by a young lady. Her name was Kelly. She came into my restaurant. She'd come in many times with some of her managers, and she was like, "Hey, I've noticed you in here. I want you to trade your steaks for clothes." I was like, "Excuse me." She's like, "I'm recruiting you. I want you to trade your steaks for clothes. I see the way you run your restaurant, and I want you to do the same thing, just in the retail aspect. I've never done retail. I don't want to do retail." She's like, "Just think about it. Your hostess or like your cashiers, when they come in, they greet them and the person last impression in the store. So when you come into a store, you'll see the cashier. They might say hi. They might say bye when you leave, but they're your first last impression. And you do that really well with your hosts. Your servers are your sales associates. When they come in, they have to look at guests and they have to read nonverbal cues, see what they're looking for, and interact with them, engage them. I think your servers do a great job here. They ask me what we need. They're attentive. They try to give us what we need before we ask for it. So if you do that with your sales associates, it works. And then like your kitchen is the heart of your house. When you get a new steak in, you don't sell the new steak first, you sell the old steak first. Same thing with the clothes. You have a rotation of when you sell it and how you flow it out to the sales floor. Same thing. If you do the same thing in retail, you'll be successful. Lo and behold, here we go.
Lo and freaking behold, I love that. And I can attest to Kacey. I don't want to spend, I think that the most valuable thing that we have in life right now is our time.
Right.
I don't have time to spend 45 minutes talking to somebody that I don't want to talk to. But I really liked talking to you because you made me feel important. And here I am, I'm tired. I'm a mother. I'm working for another client. All I'm doing standing in that line is I gotta go because I haven't started shopping for my kids. Then they closed the line on me and you literally lightened up my day. And that's so important. I wish that more people thought about that. How can I help you? What do you need? Like when you see people that are at the gas station begging for a couple dollars, you need to say, where are you going? What do you need to get to where you're going? I have money to give to you that I would much rather you have than me just giving you a few dollars and you still don't have everything that you need yet. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's what I think.
It just means that you care about people, not just in the moment for the people, but people in general. And I feel the same way. Like if I can help you, let me help you. Not just in this moment for a brief second in time. How can I actually help you? And like you said, time is something we can never get back. It's the most precious thing that we have. More valuable than anything else. So what can we do with our time to make things better for other people?
Is that some sort of secret Target training?
Maybe
I want to know all the Target secrets. Tell me where the vault is.
Maybe they might integrate it. It's not one yet, but not that in particular, but they're pretty close to it. I think Target does a really amazing job of making sure that we put guests first and make sure they feel that they're first in everything that we do, in every process that we do in store, and everything that we present to them, that they're first.
Why would Target turn away somebody who wants to work there? Because they're a criminal?
No, I don't think Target would turn anyone away that wants to work there. I think it's more that Target will do what's best for Target, but I don't think they would turn anyone away just to turn anyone away. I think they take everything into
Account?
account.
Well, speaking of hiring criminals, this is something that I like to do. It reminded me of when I was looking at that mirror. There are things I think as a decorator that just stand out to me. For instance, I could spend hours without eating looking at rugs. I love rugs. Coffee tables? Meh. Lamps? I love lamps. But mirrors. I love mirrors. Not because I want to look at myself like ever, but the reason why I love mirrors is because the way that I like to start someone's house is if I can have an entryway with a mirror in it, and let's say I'm staging a home, and as soon as the new buyer walks into that house, they can see themselves in that mirror in that house. It gives them a sense of, I'm home. I can see myself here. First of
I
all.
like that.
Thanks. And then the second thing is, mirrors create light. They have reflection. Sometimes, if you do it right, mirrors can make small spaces bigger. But what's really happening when you incorporate a mirror into a room, and by the way, don't ever put one in front of a TV. That's just bad. Because then you're creating another TV across from a TV. So don't do that. Anyway, if you do it right, you are creating the space to be bigger, not just because of the reflection, but because of the light that it's bringing in. And so I was so drawn to that mirror that I saw because I am looking for a ginormous wood herringbone mirror for my own personal property that I want to put over this ginormous, amazing buffet that I have as my entryway. And I want to flank it with 2 lamps, but I need a bowl to put my keys and my phone and all the things in. And I feel like you can't walk into a home unless you have that dumping ground, complete with a mirror to like create that little space of I'm home, the entry. That's all I wanted to say about that.
I love the way you said to put that, because when you can see yourself somewhere, you want to imagine yourself there all the time. So if you have a visual image of you already being there, it's easier for you to get there and like, this is me, this is home, I'm good. I love that.
Thank you. You know, the whole thing about staging is it's a formula. It's a science, and you as an engineer would love the explanation because there is a reason why things have to be the way that they have to be. For instance, light. I want to create a sense of warmth, and a soft white light bulb does that for me. The new LEDs that make it seem like we're under an operating table makes me feel anxious like I'm going in for surgery, and I don't want that. So ask any photographer how important light is, and Lindsay the stager will bring in the perfect warm light because it's about creating a feeling. And so, thank you. You would love to know all of the tidbits that I can explain that people never think of why you feel the way that you feel when you walk into a place or meet somebody or try something on or see something that you like. And it all has to do with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, speaking of this, look, do you see how I have my thumbs covered? Funny story. It's really dumb, but here it goes. I have the teeniest, tiniest little thumbs. And my best friends and my husbands, this is my 3rd husband, you didn't know that yet, but they all make fun of my little thumbs. And when there's like nothing else to talk about, they're like, hey, let's look at Lindsay's thumbs. One time when I was performing, I told my best friend, Pio, that I was born with 4 fingers and 6 toes, and that they cut off my toe and made it into my thumb. And he believed me for like a year and a half. And it's crap. But look at these teeny tiny little thumbs. See how I like unveiled them? They're really good for like typing. And I'm also a writer, so that comes in handy. But anyway, our producer, Britt, that was a special request from her to like talk about my thumbs because, you know, when people are like, what's your favorite part of your body? And like the assholes in life are like my legs or my eyes or something like beauteous. I always say my thumbs because they're nuts just like me. What's your favorite part of your body, Kacey? Your beard?
I'm actually not in love with my beard. It was a request.
From who?
My girlfriend was like, hey, you should. Well, I was doing No Shave November last year anyway. I always do it
Right?
each year just for the month of November.
Right?
And she was
Hold
like,
on.
you know,
Hold on. Did you hear that? Oh, that was just all the hearts breaking that they found out that you had a girlfriend. Sorry, ladies. Later. Continue.
she was like, leave it. It might look nice. And I was like, I don't like the scruffiness. I don't like it. And then after it got longer, it felt better. It was easy to manage. But I go every day back and forth with leaving it or shaving it off.
Well, just from somebody who has no idea, me, when I met you, I thought that your look was so stunning with the bald head and the beard. And then, Exhibit A, I'm married to a man with a beard. Can you see that?
See it.
That was the day that our little baby River was born. I like a man to look not so clean cut. I like a beard. I like long hair. So I think that that's good. You've got that going for you. So, but back to what you like the best and not what your girlfriend told you to do or what I like. What do you like the best?
I think it's when I have a full smile because I think I can share that with people and it's something that is contagious.
I do it. That is the sweetest thing.
I say a full smile, not like a smirk or a half smile, but really like a full joyous smile because they are truly contagious. And I love to see people happy and I love to be happy. So I'd say,
oh, you're just a
full
happy
smile.
person. What is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Pisces. March 9th is my
Oh.
birthday.
I love that. My son was born March 11th, so he's a Pisces, that little baby that you just saw in the picture. And you guys, I've had one boyfriend in my life who was a Pisces, my first love, and I always called him the Renaissance man.
Why is that?
Because you guys are good at sports, you're good at singing, you're good at writing, you're good at being with people. I just think that Pisces are with their heart. Do you know what I mean? They do everything with their heart.
The Design Time from the Flora podcast is sponsored by Florally, your premier source for designer-inspired floors. Use Florally's live chat with real human beings to answer your flooring questions and even book a free in-home consultation.
So I was saying that I think that Pisces do everything with their hearts, and you are so spot on a Pisces. Sometimes
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so your favorite part about you is your smile. So I can't help but notice your background. Did you do that by
Okay.
yourself or what? What's happening there?
I did. So I
How did you know to create movement like that?
It is actually something I stole from my apartment. Last year I had to live in Minneapolis, working with Target. I lived downtown Minneapolis and I lived in a high rise on the 22nd floor. And I found these pictures of the cityscape. So when you walked into my apartment, you will see this picture of the cityscape to sort of try to mirror what the Minneapolis cityscape would be. But when you walk around the corner, my whole living room was mirror. You have the actual view of the cityscape.
Wow, it's like just what I said, not the TV, the cityscape. That's what we want the reflection of. That's amazing. Well done.
So I just flanked it here with some gold circles because I love complete movement. And so circles create movement. And then I have one on the other side, but you can't see it. It's flanking up and down all across the pictures.
That is so cool. What room are you in your house? Your office?
I am in actually the living room. This is the
Okay,
backdrop. I have my projector above it, so the projector
cool.
comes down, but I don't like to have a TV in the living room because it's a space where we can meet, talk, and a TV would be a distraction. So if we don't need that distraction, put the projector screen up and just have a meeting space.
I love it. Now, I can't forget that when we first met, you were like, oh, is this for staging? And I was like, how do you know this? And you're like, because my mom's a decorator. Now, what does that mean? Your mom's a decorator.
So my mom has a love for decorating since I can remember. I've been her assistant in her love for decorating. So I would say every season the house would change. I mean, a room would change colors, the flooring might change. At that time, we would put up wallpaper and borders that would change. Sometime a wall would come down, so we had to put up new sheetrock. It was always forever changing. But with that, I've picked up that bug also. I love the
That's so
aesthetics of
good.
things. Even with being in the restaurant business, I love the aesthetics of things because I had to decorate my plates. I had to plate it correctly and make it not just appetizing when they ate it, but also appeasing to the eyes when it was presented. So that's something that I, learned from mom and I
You're
really, really
creating
enjoy.
a feeling.
Yes, the whole feeling,
You're
not just of
staging
what
it,
you're eating.
Kacey. That's what I'm saying. You are a stager.
I, I
Ta-da!
will be a novice stager and you're the professional.
Well, um, can you see your kitchen from where you're sitting?
Um, this kitchen is not great, but yes,
Do you have a backsplash in your kitchen?
I do not. I'm in an
Hmm.
apartment, so I wasn't able to do a backsplash.
I'm in an apartment too, and I have a backsplash. And I would like to say something about backsplashes that need to be addressed. Everybody just does a backsplash like from the back of the bottom of the counter up to the cabinets. If you can, I think it's a good idea to have your backsplash go from the back of the cabinets all the way up to the ceiling. Now,
Agreed.
Lindsay, what if I have cabinets there? Do I make them go above the cabinets? No. Hopefully, in most homes these days, I'm looking at my little apartment cabinets and they don't go up to the ceiling, which really makes me mad because that's outdated. And nobody's going to like put their pictures and their fake ivy up there anymore. That is way out.
Yeah,
But if you are creating a kitchen, as I am in my personal home, I am embracing this trend that is a backsplash from the bottom of the counters all the way up to the ceiling. Like, let's say on either side of my stove or my hood, I'm going to do a whole backsplash to the ceiling and I'm going to add floating shelves. That's the trend that I'm incorporating these days. And I think that more people need to use that because talk about taking the light up and making the space bigger. It's a really cool thing. And even if you just have a subway white tile, which is what I'm looking at right now, it's just about the texture. It's not about, like, you don't want to do something crazy. I mean, you can do whatever backsplash you want. There's good quadrillions of them. But even if it's just a white tile backsplash, take it all the way up to the ceiling is what I'm going to say for a little design tip of the day.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes the room larger, like you said, and it completes the room. It doesn't break it off.
We were at the North Hills Target when I met you.
Yes.
Everybody's going to come running there now. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Go and see Kacey. Do you usually like work a certain section or are you always like doing did you just jump in to help like I bet you would?
On the lanes, I just jumped in to help because I seen there was a need for the guests. But I normally run the specialty department. So that's going to be the decorative home area all the way to the clothes, and then the Ulta Beauty and the beauty and tech area. So a large portion of the store.
Awesome. How many days a week do you work?
5.
What are your hours?
They vary. I'm usually there from anywhere between 7 in the morning until 11 at night. But it
Good
varies
Lord.
depending on the needs of the business or, the needs of the team for me to be there to support them. But it
Okay.
varies.
What would you think? What's your answer to, back to your side gig or your primary gig of being a website designer? What do you think that people forget to do when they're starting up a company? Like if they have their invoices in line, they're going to use QuickBooks and they have their contacts and they have their CRM and they are ready to be organized. When it comes to the website, what do people forget to do that you need to remind them to do so that they don't realize that they have forgotten a major part of it?
The biggest part is solidifying the brand, I think, that people don't do. Like they'll have everything else in order, but they don't really solidify their brand or can describe to people who may be looking for them what they do. So that's the thing that with the websites that I build, like if someone has a random word that could identify with staging, if it wasn't staging, like room prep or
Photo prep.
other words around what actually you would search for that people that aren't familiar with the lingo would type in, other things that would draw them to you.
So you're saying you need to put out like sort of a siren to be like, find me. If I'm staging, then I need to put in a word like photo prep because that's what I'm
Correct.
trying to do for your listings. Or instead of staging, you could say staged design or I don't know, something like that. So you're saying that you need to have
Room makeover.
room
Um,
makeover, mini makeover.
yes, any of those things to make sure that you're targeting all your audience that may want to work with you and not just people who know the correct terminology to find you.
Awesome. So I'm like totally going to work with you. We're actually having a meeting after our little podcast because Pod Posse, who's listening, your website is a complete necessity. It's a 24-hour store for you, and you've got to be open 24 hours so that anybody at any time can look and see your brand, which is just what Kacey is talking about. However, I don't have time to like deal with my website, especially when I'm trying to upload my portfolio of my daily work on Instagram and Facebook just to make it look like I'm working. And so I want Kacey to look at how I'm covering my thumbs. I want Kacey to help me with my website so that I can incorporate words that I didn't even know I needed to know.
And then, like you said, it's something that has to be done daily. With some websites that I do, you don't have to update daily or weekly. So with the services I provide also, you can choose on how often you'd like your website updated, how often you like new content to be added, or if you like to have a class to learn how to do it to manage your content yourself, it's something that's not going to be changing often. So
And
just
I
not
think
with the
it's go ahead.
So just not with the web services of providing the service and creating the site, but also the after services, because once it's created, it's going to need maintenance. And if you can do that yourself, we can train you to do that. But if you like someone to take care of it, we can also do that for you also.
It's important to keep putting yourself even into your former clients' faces. Whether you send out a card or a newsletter or something to say, I'm still here. Can you do that with your website?
Of course. We can incorporate those things into it because once it's done, it's not done forever. Once a room is designed or staged, you may want a new trend that you want to incorporate, which
Yeah.
trends are always forever changing. So same thing with the website.
I always advise my realtors to give my services as a closing gift because whoever's moving into the home is going to need some design influence with their new space. But one of the things that I make it go back to the realtor is I say, if I can get them to buy a new sectional, they're going to think of you. And so I think that kind of synergy, if you can just keep going back to where it started, then it starts a referral basis which is, thank God, what I work on now. All I have to do is answer the phone because I've already done that work where I called all of the realtors and talked to them when I was starting. But
that goes back to the first point when you asked, like, what's the first step? And I said, creating a relationship with the person I'm going to be working with. Because once you create that relationship, it is a continuous give to each other, a circle that perpetuates your business. So
exactly.
that's why that's my number one step.
So the universe sent you and I together. Like if they're up there like in a booth, like managing a show, and they're like, cue Kacey, enter Lindsay. Boom.
There we go.
The aisle is open, right?
It was perfect.
I know. So where do you live?
I'm in the Bride Creek area currently.
Oh, that's cool. And Kacey, I have a feeling, I mean, I know this, but I'm just trying to be like coy to the pod posse. Are you a father?
I am a father of 3, and then 1 on the way.
3!
And they're all girls.
Oh my God. I've always said I can't even talk to people who have 3 because I have 2 and I am like barely paddling. And you have 1 on the way, so you've just like doubled my stopping point? Oh my God, this is like the first disagreement we're going to have. Oh my God. How are you doing this?
With a lot of patience.
Oh, I don't have any of that. The universe / God, Jesus Christ on a cracker, forgot to give me the patience part. He gave me the thumbs and like the dancing talent and like the people part, but he didn't give me the patience. I have none of that.
Yeah, I that comes in troves. I think it has to, but it came over time. But I'm glad I have it now.
How old are your girls?
Oldest is 14, then I have 13, and then I have 10.
And then
the oldest 2 are Irish twins.
Wow. Unbelievable. Well, do you have to go and work at Target today?
I do not.
Oh, okay. I haven't been to Target today. I got gift cards from Target though, and I'm going to come and see you.
Perfect. I cannot wait. Did you ever get that mirror?
I'm thinking about it. The only reason why I wouldn't get that mirror, Kacey, this is actually a good question, is it's so ginormous that I'm thinking of going smaller because I want to flank with 2 lamps and I want the whole thing to be like a pyramid. I know I could flank with 2 lamps in front of the mirror, but I don't want the reflections of the lamps in front of the mirror.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I will keep that in mind for something else for, and also that mirror is like huge. And then when you're in person, it's like even bigger. That's how I fell in love with it. But it's almost too big for the space that I need it for. But I love it so much. If you guys haven't seen it, run, don't walk to the Target at North Hills. Go and try on your clothes in the back on the left. Not like I don't know the whole store layout by heart. But as you're going to try on your new, what is it? My favorite line is Knox Rose. I wear all Knox Rose stuff. It's so my bohemian jam. Anyway, when you're going to try on your new Knox Rose clothes, check out this mirror and think of Lindsay, the stager, and Kacey Brown, the engineer, Target website designer. And you're welcome for that tidbit of the day. That's all I have to say, Kacey. I want to just like get off this podcast and go and meet you and sit down and talk to you about how to make my website better. And then maybe we'll have more knowledge and have you back another time to talk about that meeting. But we have things to do, so we got to go.
All right.
I'm so glad that you joined us today. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you all for having me, and thanks for reaching out and like being excited to have me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Well, I want to get your business out there because I think that people need to work with people who are nice and care. And could you please say your company's website again so that everybody knows?
The website is Modus Operandi, MODUSOPERANDI.com.
ModusOperandi.com.
And be up at the end of the week.
Awesome. So that means that when everybody listens to this, you'll already be up and running. So modusoperandi.com, Kacey
Yeah.
Brown. We are over and out. This is Lindsay the Stager. Thank you for tuning in, my pod posse. We'll see you next time. This is Design Time from the floor up.
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't like it, then